Last one, because I have to. There's no second best crypto asset. There's only one crypto asset, and that's Bitcoin. This is one of the top Michael Saylor memes. Do you still believe the same?
I do. I think Bitcoin is the dominant digital monetary network of the world. Human civilization, it settles on protocols. There, for example, with mathematics, there was Babylonian math, 360 degrees, 60s, 12, 24 hours. There was Greek math. There was Roman math, Roman numerals. So Arabic wasn't the first protocol. It was just the best. Arabic math, zero. It wasn't Greek. It wasn't Roman, right? Why are Christians in Northern Europe using Arabic math? Because it was a better protocol, right? And that's been good for 1,000 years. There is no second best math protocol, right? If you look at language, English, we're speaking English. Why? Because all the rich, powerful people speak English, because the British won the Napoleonic War. If Napoleon had won, we'd probably be speaking French. If the Russians had won, right, we'd be speaking Russian. Billions of people speak English. If you speak English, you'll get your message across better. You'll sell something at a higher price. You'll buy things at a lower price. More people will listen to you. You'll make more money. There is no second best language. It's the best language.
That's why this podcast is in English, even though my mother tongue is definitely not English.
It is what it is. And with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is digital capital, right? What you've got glass beads, you've got bales of tobacco. In the biblical times, they used ox, cows, cattle as capital. Bushels of wheat. We've used bars of silver. For a while, I think India was on the silver standard. Then there was the gold standard. And at the end of the day, the human civilization settles upon the highest powered capital asset, the highest powered money. And Bitcoin is the most thermodynamically sound. And so, well, how do you know? Well, because it's like worth $1.5 trillion. Okay? Well, how did it get to be worth that? Well, the smartest people with the most money and the most power, they had to choose a protocol. And they could have chose any protocol. There were 10,000 protocols. They could have chose all the Bitcoin forks. They chose this one. Well, how do you know they chose it? Because they have the most money and the most power, and it's literally the most powerful and has the most money in it. Now, what happens when all of the powerful, wealthy, influential people choose a numerical protocol, electrical protocol, right? A language protocol, a mathematical protocol, or an economic protocol, right? Or even like computer protocol, networking protocol, TCP/IP. I can give you 10 other ways to do it, right? There are 10 other languages, there are 10 other maths, there's 10 other whatever. But at the end of the day, there's a massive network effect, and you see this in the history of technology, and I studied technology at MIT. I studied the history of science. So, the railroad track gauge, it's like the Roman war chariot carves grooves. We create railroads the same width. If you have that width, you want to manufacture the train cars that width, right? Just like, why is every container the same size? Because they're all modular, because I can move them from a container ship to a truck, to a plane, to a train. Well, what if you want to make it 6 inches wider? It doesn't fit. Well, couldn't you make it narrower or wider, a different shape? You could, but all of the rich, powerful people picked the one format. And how do you know? Because if you look at the port of Miami, there's like ships and they're stacked up with these containers, and every port in the world, whether it's the Chinese or whether it's the Russians or whether it's the Europeans or whether it's the Americans or the Europeans, they have the same format. And it just is what it is. And why? Because people aren't stupid. And at some point, why don't we create cars that are 32 feet wide? You could. They just don't fit in the parking space, and they won't get in the garage, and they won't drive down the road. And so humans create machines that work, that are compatible with protocols, because once a protocol hits critical mass, there's a massive network effect, and all of the money and the power and the influence of the world falls. How many companies have manufactured a car that's like this wide? How many of them agreed on language and religion and politics? None of them. But they all can agree on make the car a certain width. And so Bitcoin is the winner. Why? Because it was the best suited protocol. You could have made it 2% inflationary. You could have made it, different. You could have made it more functional. It turns out the lack of functionality and the stability was the feature. It was the best suited to be a digital capital network for the world. That's what it's become. And once something locks in like that, it's nearly impossible to replace that protocol. You have to have some cataclysmic, death of all the dinosaurs due to an asteroid strike 80 million years ago type event. It's like, well, the world goes dark for 1 million years, and then 1 million years later, maybe something else comes back. That's how we replaced the dinosaurs, right? Mammals became the apex predators instead of the dinosaurs after an asteroid strike. But I'm not expecting an asteroid strike. And so the logical thing to do and the advice to give to your kids is learn Arabic, math, reading, writing, arithmetic, right? Learn to read English, learn to write the English language, learn to work with Arabic numerals, learn Bitcoin. If you want to be wealthy and powerful, because that's where all the money is. That's where all the power is. And why? Like I really wish people spoke, Swahili. I know you wish it, and you were born speaking Swahili. But the point is, that's not where all the money and the power is. So you can either be the richest, most powerful dude, in a little pond, or you can accept the rest of the world as it is and decide that you want to be a participant in the global digital economy. And the global digital economy is going to run on digital capital, and Bitcoin is digital capital.
There is no second best. Thank you so much, Michael, for doing that. That was fantastic. And from all of us, the Cyber Hornets, thank you for carrying us, the whole industry, on your shoulders for the last 6 years, through great times and through bad times. We would certainly not be here without you, and I would not be either. So from all of us, thank you.
Well, thank you. You're kind. I appreciate being on the mission and on the journey with each and every one of you.